Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Series A, Dhamma Talk number 46. Seeing it all the way through. Okay. We have practiced and we have dealt up to the point of insight knowledge of equanimity. Sankharu Pekha Jnana. Sankharupekha is two words, Sankhara and Upekha. Sankhara, I think you might have heard about it before, in the five aggregates. Okay. Five aggregates, what is called self. Rupa, form. Vedana, feeling and sensation. Sanya, perception. Perception could be, some could be right according to the truth, some could be wrong according to the truth. Only perception with mindfulness is the right or correct perception. And then sankhara, okay, mental formation. That sankhara is here represented in Sankharupekha Jnana Sankhara. So basically, these are the 50 mental factors other than Vedana and Phassa, feeling and mental contact. So these are always bombarding at us at all time and every moment of our life. Sankhara, then Pekha is Upekha, equanimity. Your mind is in a totally equanimous, neutral, unshaken, unmoving whenever these sankhara or mental factors are bombarding at you. That's what Sankharupekha Jnana means. And we have dealt with the details in the last Dhamma talk. Now you have reached to this stage. And when one has reached to this stage, okay, everything that is happening to you, or every prominent and dominant object of the present moment which is in your field of attention, they are very clear and you are fully aware of it. Not only that, one after the other, endlessly, without fail, without break. Continuously, you are fully aware of it, okay, without putting any effort. That's one. We use the example like a flow of water in a stream or water falling down from the stream. Like that, you can see these flows of all the physical and mental phenomena right under your eye. And you are fully aware of it, and you are unmoving and unshaken. And we have already talked about it. In that state, you can drift into a sense of indifference. Okay? And we need to overcome that. How to overcome that, we dealt it. In other words, one must be able to see the cessation or the ending of these objects moment to moment to moment. Only then you overcome the moha delusion. So that is a gist about what we talked last Dharma talk. And here you will hear the words, okay, we dealt through. And the latter part is using the knowledge, different stages of insights, from 1 up to 11. We use these things and we explain it through. And here, a word of suggestion or advice is, one might be really focusing and putting emphasis on these insight, levels of insight. Oh, I'm here, I'm there, I'm number 4, I'm number 6, I'm number 10, and so on. Because we are the creatures of greed. Okay? Creatures with pride and ego. So we like to identify with those things. And once you identified it, automatically you are defeating the purpose. That identification is totally opposite to the solution. Identification is solidification. And here is the solution, letting go. So keep that in mind. So we said don't emphasize on these level of insight. And at the same time we are talking about it. So how do we deal with it? So keep in mind, here is one thing. Okay? Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Impermanence, suffering or unsatisfactoriness, and non-self or uncontrollability or unsubstantiality. These are the 3 characteristics. One need to focus your mind or incline your mind to be with, to identify with. You can still use the identification here, because if you identify with the 0, regardless how much you identify, 0 is 0. There's no essence, no value. So sometimes it is difficult with conceptual words, but try and understand very clearly. That is one group that you can incline your mind towards. And another group that you can incline your mind towards is lobha, dosa, moha, greed or craving attachment, anger or aversion or unsatisfactory or dissatisfactory frustration, hatred, ill will. And moha, delusion, illusion, uncertainty, not knowing the true nature. Those 2 groups of 3s, keep your mind inclined to it. So how? Let's traverse through this, all these insight. Okay. Insight 1, 2, 3. On the number 3, what it is? It's a lot of unpleasant sensations, painful sensation, undurable sensations and feelings. That's what you experience. So instead of identifying as I am at number 3 or I'm overcoming number 3, look at it. Oh, here is dukkha, okay, suffering, unpleasant sensations. Dukkha, unpleasant sensation, you are overcoming that step of the first wave of dukkha, suffering. You can look at it that way. That is in terms of anicca, dukkha, anatta. And in terms of the other group, what is this suffering, unpleasant sensation? Unpleasant sensation dwells. Dwells mean it repeated arising. And what? what arises in these unpleasant sensations? Dosa. Dosa arises in these unpleasant sensations. So overcoming that stage means you have overcome a certain degree and a certain segment of dosa. See? Instead of focusing on, I have overcome the third insight, I am now in number 4. Instead of viewing that way, view this, I have overcome a certain aspect or a certain segments of dosa. Yes. Okay. Or I have overcome a certain degree, a certain aspect of suffering, dukkha, vedana, unpleasant sensation. If you look that way, you are not identifying with anything. You are looking at the process and you are seeing how the process works. But if you say, I have overcome samasana jnana, just by thinking that way, you have increased your pride. You have increased your ego. You identified with your success. These are so subtle, just the way you conceptually think can direct you in a different direction. So keep those in mind. So now you can see the idea. The next one, udayapaya jnana, insight knowledge of arising and passing away. How would you view? Now I think you can see the pattern. Udayapaya jnana is all the pleasant sensations. Sukha vedana. Okay, sukha vedana. Pleasant sensation. What dwells in the pleasant sensation? Lobha, craving or attachment, dwells in this pleasant sensation. So when you have overcome this udayapaya jnana, when you step over that, that means you have overcome a certain aspect of letting go of pleasant sensation, letting go of lobha. In other words, you have peeled off the lobha. You have eliminated the lobha partially to a certain degree. Look at it that way. And also, what? Pleasant sensation. Pleasant sensation is sukha vedana. Okay? Dukkha vedana. Dukkha vedana is also sensation and feeling. Sukha vedana is also sensations and feeling. They are all sensations and feeling. There are 3 kinds of sensation and feelings. One is unpleasant, one is pleasant, and one is neutral. I have eliminated a certain segment or a certain parts to a certain extent of this craving or attachment to the pleasant sensation. One must, if you view that way, you are not identifying with anything. It's a process, and you are clearly seeing and understanding the process. So even though we talk with all these insight levels, it is a very mechanical way of explaining your processes step by step, so that you have the compartmentalization and understand more clearly, mathematically, logically. But in here is a process, the same thing. And then you go to number 5, insight knowledge of the solution. Okay, bhaya jnana. Bhinga jnana, sorry. Bhinga jnana is everything is dissolving. And here you are overcoming the what? Unpleasant sensation, dukkha vedana, another phase. And at the same time, what is it? Everything dissolving. Anicca, impermanence. You see the nature of impermanence in the deepest way in the Bhinga jnana. And then number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 6 is the danger. Okay? The danger of this mind and matter, the faultiness of this mind and matter, the misery of mind and matter, and wanting to escape. Okay? The yearning for the deliverance from the mind and matter. And then number 10, it is the excruciating pain, painful sensation, more mentally than the physically. And that all 6 to 10 is a whole boiling pot of dukkha vedana, more pronounced in mental pain. And when you're overcoming 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, what is it? You have shed, okay, to a greater and larger extent of dukkha vedana. Dukkha vedana, suffering. You have shed quite a number of suffering, the nature of suffering you have endured and you have passed, and you can see them as they are. And at the same time, you have endured such excruciating pain and you overcome. That means your aversion, your anger, okay? Aversion and anger, dosa. You have shed a lot of dosa from your state of mind. That's a way to view at it. In that way, you see with clarity, you see with perfection, you see without ego and identification. Simply a process. Anicca, dukkha, anatta, lobha, dosa, moha. Okay. We go through with the insights just to understand step by step, but don't focus and identify and grade yourself with level of insight. See your progress through lobha, dosa, moha, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Greed, anger and delusion, impermanence, suffering and non-self. That's a process. And that's the way we are approaching. Now we come to the number 11, Sankharupekkha Jnana. What is it? Eventually, we have overcome the state of moha, delusion. Okay, in here, you have overcome. You have to pass over the Sankharupekkha Jnana to overcome the delusion or moha, or illusion. And in terms of feelings, what are you overcoming? You have reached the states of neutral feeling. You understand neutral feeling. You understand that moha, or not clearly knowing, that associated with neutral feeling is being eliminated. That's a very delicate, if you listen to the last Dhamma talk clearly, you understand what I'm saying. I won't go back again there. Now, you have up to the 11. And my suggestion is, don't identify with the stages of insight. Try and see the process in terms of 3 common characteristics of mind and matter. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. And also the peeling away or partial elimination of lobha, dosa and moha, mental defilements, greed, anger and delusion. And if you see that way, you'll find you can go through this process of rising to the Ariya level a lot faster. Otherwise, you'll be spinning round and round and round and round in these stages of insight. You will still be there. You will still be experiencing it, but you will be staying there a lot longer than it might have been otherwise. So that is a little thing that need to know. And today is seeing through to the end. I'm pointing out a few little things that would be helpful in your practice. And I'm going to touch on another thing that will be quite helpful to your practice. And here is, maybe it is just the language. Okay, the language it is said, and also the psyche of the mind, the nature of the mind of the person or the yogi. Some yogis are quite humble from square one. Okay, from the day they come in, they are quite humble. Okay. They are quite humble and they approach the whole process with humility and humbleness. And there are some yogis too. Some yogis are nothing right or wrong. That is the nature of their existing mental state. Some yogis are very bright, very intelligent, very sharp, intellectually already. Okay, even without practicing, they can see through things quite clearly and sharply. So, automatically, naturally, the ego of those yogis are quite high and higher than the most yogi. And naturally, humility and humbleness is not in their nature. That is nothing discriminating or finding fault. It is the makeup of the nature of the psyche of each yogi based on their parami. So, in general, humility, humbleness approach. Another one is quite sharp intelligence and with pride and ego, two things. Okay? And each yogi's approach the same path in a different way based on the original nature of the psyche. So in here, the reason I'm saying is giving the answer first and going to show you the problem that could arise. What it is there's a word called path. A path. Okay. Path is mega. Okay. In Pali, mega. In English, translated as path. Mega path. Again, I'll give the explanation first. In the path, first and foremost, there's a one path. It's called Eightfold Noble Path. Okay? Eightfold Noble Path. We all know what it is. That is what we are observing and practicing and observing and practicing in our Satipatthana meditation. Every observation and every noting contains the quality of this Eightfold Noble Path. That is one. And this Eightfold Noble Path that contains while observing, in other words, all of us sitting here who are Puthujjana. Puthujjana is called ordinary worlding. Like you and me, like everybody else in the world. Except that we are practicing. Okay? We are all on this path. All the yogis who are practicing are on this path. And all the people who are practicing Satipatthana Vipassana are on this path. That is one segment of the path. Eightfold Noble Path. Mega. Okay, mega. Mega Sissa. Okay, mega. And then suddenly, let's say this person has graduated, okay, from this ordinary worlding. Okay. He got a certificate to pass over to the noble person, Ariya. When you pass over the other side, okay, at that time it is still a path, okay, mega, but they call it Sotapatti Magga, the path of the first stream winner. The first Eightfold Noble Path we are practicing is Eightfold Noble Path of the worldlings, of the practitioner who are in the stages of Puthujjana. And this one is the path of the first stream winner, Sotapatti Magga. And then Sagadagami Magga. In other words, that is the path of a once returner. What does it mean by once returner? That person, if he or she has reached that stage, that he or she will be reborn one more time in the realm of sense pleasure. In other words, in the realm of the six senses. In other words, maybe a human being, maybe a deva. One more time, but no more. And the third path, Magga, is the Anagami Magga. Anagami Magga is the path of a non-returner. Non-returner means that person will not be reborn in the sense world. Sense world means the six senses, which means they will only be reborn in the Brahman world. Okay? Anagami Magga. And then another path, Magga, Arahata Magga, okay? The path of the person who has eliminated all mental defilements. Okay? In other words, that is the last existence for that person. So that is also the path. So in here is, if you qualify this way, it is quite clear. Okay? The path of the Puthujjana, the path of the stream winner or stream enterer, the path of the one returner, the path of non-returner, and the path of the final person, delivered person, Arahata Magga or Arahant. And along with that, it has its own insight or wisdom. Insight or wisdom. In this Puthujjana worldling, ordinary worldling like you and me here, okay, our wisdom is the insight of the Vipassana insight. We have the Vipassana wisdom. Okay. Vipassana insight, Vipassana wisdom. All these 11, 12, 13 stages. Okay, that is the wisdom that comes with it. Vipassana insight, Vipassana wisdom. And for the stream enterer, it is the Sotapatti Magga Jnana, the wisdom that comes with the path of a first stream winner. And then the next one, Sakadagami Magga Jnana, the wisdom that comes with the once returner path. And the wisdom that comes with the non-returner path. And the wisdom that comes with the total deliverance, Arahata Magga. So the jnana, the wisdoms are also different on each one. So try to understand clearly that way. The reason I'm saying is, in here, there are, especially in English, when they use the words, okay, it is quite different. There might be a very competent teacher, okay, very competent teacher. He will look at a yogi practicing very hard, and then suddenly he say, Yogi, you are on the path. Yogi, you are on the path. And here there are two kinds of yogi I have just mentioned. One with humbleness and humility, and one with ego and pride and intelligence. Just the word is you are on the path, and you are simply a practitioner, Vipassana practitioner, the one with the humble and mind, simply automatically take its I am on this path of Eightfold Noble Path that I am practicing on, trying to perfect upon. The one with the ego mind can take its I am on the path. Automatically, his mind is grasping on the domain of the area so much, automatically that person take it as I am Ariya. The teacher is telling me I am Ariya. See, it is just the mental attitude. It perceived the same word in a different way, humble way and ego way. That with that ego way, automatically the path, the teacher doesn't qualify the word path. So automatically that person thinks that they are in the realm of the Ariya. Because that person already is thinking, even before this, he is already an Ariya. I have passed a threshold. I know this, I know this, I can observe this, I can observe that, I can see this, I can see that. Automatically go that way, and if that person thinks that way, automatically his progress will be totally blocked. He will never reach the realm of the Ariya, because that is the wrong view. You are seeing things incorrectly. Okay. And again too, I'm putting a very simple example. Of course, there's a little measurement that they measure, especially the people with great intelligence, sharp and high-minded, and then with pride and ego, they are also very well-read people. And so what happened is, they heard the word cessation of nama and rupa. In other words, the mind and matter ceased, cessation of nama and rupa. That cessation of nama and rupa is actually a different presentation of Nibbana. The mind and matter cease to exist. Right now, right here, even though you might be sitting, your process, your phenomenon of mind and phenomenon of matter cease to exist. Of course, for a short period. Okay, that is the measurement, of course. Once you have seen the cessation, once you have experienced the cessation of mind and matter, I am Ariya. Because Ariya take in their observation, meditation, Nibbana as an object. They don't look at the mind and matter anymore. They don't observe the mind and matter anymore, because the mind and matter cease to exist and their observation object is Nibbana. So automatically the person thinks, especially that very sharp, intelligent, bright, well-read, with some degree of ego and no humility, will think that way. And it could be a self-destruction. So in here is the word cessation of mind and matter. And we need to understand about this cessation of mind and matter. I'm not saying that person is not experiencing the cessation of mind and matter. In that person, his or her mind is very clear. Yes, I have experienced it. But there are many types of cessation of mind and matter. First and foremost, the people who practice samatha meditation, not the average level, very high, very deep, penetrative, they go in. They have attained a certain jhanic level. In other words, they can suppress, they can harness the mental defilements, lobha, dosa, moha. Okay. And as their mind is so strong, as their will is so strong, as their concentration is so strong, these mental defilements doesn't arise far away. They can keep it far away. And their mind is so peaceful and so clear and so tranquil. But with sheer power of concentration, that's how you dominate and suppress the mental defilements. And in those persons too, sometimes they go into a mode of, they are not aware of things, so to speak. To simply put, cessation of mind and matter is the cessation of awareness in a very crude words or explanation. And at that moment, they think that they have attained Ariya, okay, Ariyaship. But what are they practicing? They are practicing samatha meditation, concentration meditation. So in nowhere in the Buddhist scripture and the Buddhist teaching, nowhere in the world about Buddhism said a person can practice samatha meditation and attain Nibbana. Okay? To attain that Nibbana, you or one must understand the true nature of mind and matter inside out, up and down. And concentration meditation does not give you the opportunity to understand mind and matter. So a person who practices samatha meditation, and if they see they have experienced a cessation of mind and matter, you can safely assume that is incorrect. That is one kind of cessation of mind and matter. Nama and Rupa. Another one, we are practicing, okay, insight number 1 or 2, or you might be in 4, or you might be in 5. Along the way, between 1 and 10, your way. And then suddenly you come to experience the cessation of mind and matter. In other words, you are meditating and you just blank out. Okay, I'll put another words, another normal language. You blank out for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you blank out. And suddenly you realize, I have reached cessation of mind and matter. As soon as you say cessation of mind and matter, you are Ariya. You are taking Nibbana as an object of meditation. So that is another kind of cessation of mind and matter in the people who are practicing and who have progressed to a certain degree of insight. And that one is, there is a kind of thoughts. There's a kind of thought. Actually, you are thinking, but that is so settled thinking, you do not know what you are thinking. There's no identification on the thing. There's no story, nothing. And in fact, it's so settled, you are not even aware that you are thinking. Okay? In other words, you do not have awareness that you are thinking. You are thinking, but the thoughts are so small and so settled because your mind has become quite strong. So small and so settled, what happened is you felt like you have blanked out, you are not aware of anything, and suddenly, poof, you are fully aware. The tightness, the tension, the ups and downs, and whatever awareness, and there was a space that you are totally unaware of, and you think, oh, I have the cessation of mind and matter. I am the Ariya. That is another type. So in this one, again, these are my teachers taught me, and I'm just sharing with you. What it is your mind is so settled, so small, you are not aware that you are thinking. There is no slightest awareness of thinking, and you think it's cessation, but actually you have drifted into the very subtle state of thoughts. That is not cessation, the true cessation of mind and matter. That's number 2. And there is, at one level you will experience Sankharupekkha jnana, that is 11, when your mind has become equanimous to all negative and positive states. Sankharupekkha jnana. In here you're practicing and practicing. You can go into this cessation of mind and matter. Okay? In fact, sometimes you can go in for about 30-40 minutes. Wow, 30-40 minutes. I blanked out. This is true cessation of mind and matter. That kind of thoughts could arise. Not only thoughts, that kind of belief is very firm belief, very strong belief. I have, as an example, a yogi sit down and meditate. Rising, falling, rising, falling. In about 3 minutes, no more awareness of anything. And then suddenly you become aware of something. Okay? Whatever physical or mental. And right soon after that you hear the 1-hour bell ring. For about 50-55 minutes you have no awareness. That person is in a Sankharupekkha jnana already. So the person thought, I have the cessation of mind and matter. How can it be? Almost about an hour. I have total peace. Nothing. No mind, no matter, no arising, no disappearing, nothing. That kind of experience could arise, and that kind of belief could arise. And also, that is not true cessation of mind and matter, but it is very good, supremely good, and quite close to the true cessation of mind and matter. So for certain people who are a little bit more well-read, I will explain how it is and what it is. And if you don't fully follow, it's okay. Later you will come to know. When we are born, we are born with a type of consciousness. It's called bhavinga. Bhavinga. And bhavinga is it's the continuum of consciousness, you can call it. And during that state of bhavinga, you are not aware of it. You are not aware of it. But at the same time, this bhavinga, life continuum or life energy, this bhavinga, there is a consciousness. And also there are mental objects to observe. But these mental objects came from your previous life. When the previous life, on the Chuti Jeta, on the death consciousness, your mind is associated with a certain group of mental factors. So what happens is, when you are reborn, birth consciousness, those specific sets of mental factors also come with the consciousness. Consciousness cannot arise without the mental factors. Mental factors cannot arise without consciousness. And these sets, they vibrate, one after the other. Vibrate means rise and disappear, rise and disappear. And you are not aware of what these mental states are. But they are there, but you are not aware. And that is called bhavinga, life continuum, or vibrations of life energy, pulses arise and pass away. And when that bhavinga is woken up means when, let's say you are now, is come in contact with one of the 6 senses. The object comes into the eye, the objects come into your ears. At that moment, it vibrates and it woke up that Bhavanga life continuum consciousness. And then you become fully aware. And then you go back to that state again. Throughout the day, even right now, that Bhavanga is operating. You have the conscious awareness and there's the unconscious awareness. But of course, it is at a speed that we cannot comprehend, so we are not aware. We thought we are continuously aware. It is not. Okay, the most obvious time is when you are asleep. When you're asleep, you are not aware of anything, but your body is maintained by this Bhavanga. The body to be alive and active and kicking, that Bhavanga is maintaining it. That is the most easy way to show what Bhavanga state is. You are totally deep asleep, no dream, nothing. You are in a state of Bhavanga, is still operating. Like that, during the daytime, it is in operation. In between your speech, in between your thoughts, in between your observation, they vibrate, and then again, conscious awareness, unconscious awareness, conscious awareness, unconscious awareness. It is going on like that. So the reason I'm explaining is, in a Sankarupaka jnana, you observed very precisely and correctly, eliminating the lobha, dosa, moha. At that time, at some moment, your meditation is so deep and precise and correct, you go into the state of Bhavanga for a long period of time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 50 minutes. And at that time, you have no awareness of anything, and you believe you have reached the state of cessation of mind and matter. As soon as you say cessation of mind and matter, if it is true and correct, you are an Arya, a noble person. And that is the third type. All those are not good. The first one is totally through the power of the will, and you believe it is, because there is no bombardment. Second one is you go into a thought level so settled you are not aware of it. The third one is you actually sink into the state of Bhavanga and you are not aware of it. Still, it is not the cessation of mind and matter. And then you come to become a Arya. Arya is, first and foremost, you have to experience the path consciousness, Sotapatti path consciousness. That consciousness only arises once and gone. And once that path consciousness arises, that person totally changes. It cuts off the lineage of Putujana, ordinary worldling, and it turns into the states of Arya. The lineage has changed. But from outside, if you look at that person, it's the same old guy, same old guy, same old guy, nothing different. But in the mind of that person, there's a irreversible change has taken place. And at that time, there is you take Nibbana as an object of observation. And that time you have the cessation of mind and matter. And that one is the true cessation of mind and matter. So, there are 4 types of cessation of mind and matter. One is sheer belief. Second one is drift into thoughts. Third is in the Bhavanga state. One may come to experience these things and believe that you are an Arya. And especially for those people with great ego and great intellect, it's worse for them. But people with humility and humbleness don't see and don't have much of a problem. They take one step at a time. They don't assume that they know. That's 2 different types. So that part I put in such a way because it could become a roadblock. Okay? You have a wrong idea, the wrong view of where it is. And these are the little loopholes one could fall into. But if you have a teacher who are guiding all the time, you don't have to worry too much. And also, if you are humble, full of humility, you don't have to worry too much. But there are people with great ego and great intellect. Sometimes they even disagree with the teacher, then knock the teacher out. But the teacher won't say much. Life goes on. But these are the trappings, spiritual trappings. And in here is specifically with ego and intellect. And these are the little things that one could face. I like to explain on the road to see it to the end of, to see to the end of the road. So with that, we'll conclude this week, and next week we'll carry on. Okay? Not these little pitfalls and loopholes, but exactly how we operate and how we do to see till to the end of the road. So let's say today is part 1 and the next one will be part 2. And also, to give you a hint, seeing to the end of the road, not surrendering, not giving up. If you want to identify with the name of the jnana, it's called anuloma jnana. Okay? Insight into the knowledge of adaptation. That's the scriptural word. But I just simply say, see it to the end of the road. So may all of you be able to practice Satipatthana Vipassana meditation precisely, correctly, and urgently, and may you be able to see yourself to the end of the road, the path, as soon as possible. Sadhu, 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 Buddham Pujami. Dhammam Pujami. Sangham Pujami.